we watched we watched The Last of Us episode of 4.
Yeah, I got you.
Yeah, zombies, people, woman, same shit, right? Watch The Last of Us 4th episode. Actually, the 5th episode's coming out tonight.
Yeah.
Because Super Bowl or whatever the fuck, so we won't cover that for like another week and a half.
That's facts.
That's fucked Super Bowl.
Come on, bro.
The one time we record on a Friday, damn it. Let me hear you guys' opinion about that. Tristan, take it away, Penny, because you haven't played the games.
I don't think I like this episode overall as much as the last episode, but I like the fact that they're going on the journey now. So I like them traveling together. I'm starting to like their dynamic a little bit more. I had a lot of fun with her doing all the stupid puns this week and just getting on Joel's nerves. I thought that the bit with them, not the bit, but the piece with them in Kansas City and her ended up saving his life with the gun she told him not to take. That was good. Obviously, that was easy to see coming, but I was still plenty okay with that. I thought it was a good piece of storytelling on that part.
Eli?
All right. I think what you said summarizes it pretty well. I liked those aspects of it. As a overline episode, I did not like it. I thought it was kind of in the mix with the second episode. I feel like you mentioned that they're getting on with their plot line or like their journey, and I feel the opposite, actually. I feel like there's a little bit in this episode, maybe half of it, that they were, but a lot of it was about outside characters, and I talked a little bit with Enrique about this yesterday. I care about getting to know Joel and Ellie's story more, and
yes.
that's not me like, oh, I played the game, so I want to see their point of view, I guess, like a lot of people that have played the games. It's just me not really caring about the background characters. The lady who seemed to be the lead in that organization or whatever that they rolled up on, she is very unintimidating. I'll let Enrique speak on that a little bit more. I do not care about that plot line. I'm hoping that they wrap it up pretty quick because I don't think I'll be interested in it. But I do enjoy the dynamic of Joel and Ellie when we do get it. I like the puns. I liked her saving his life. It's really good, and it reminds me a lot of like a good like dad and daughter relationship. So it was good.
We forgot to do our new segment, but we'll do that after these opening thoughts. So for me, at least, I really just, the further this goes on, the less I care about it as a adaptation, because the things they're changing to adapt to the video game creator's more current writing style than the one he had for the first game. So the first game came out 10 years ago, right? Mm-hmm. When the second game came out, I want to say at this point it's been 3 or 4 years. I want to say 3 years since the second game came out.
It's been a little
bit.
The
more and more I see of this, the more and more I realize he's writing the way he did in the second game. And that's the polarizing game. I don't know why he would do that, especially considering the first game is universally praised. There is no one that says the first game is a bad story. At worst, they'll say it's cliche, but even cliche is okay when you do it to the utmost possible quality you could for that cliche. You know what I mean? It's like a hamburger's not going to top a steak, but if you cook a hamburger perfectly, it's fucking great, you know?
Yeah, 100%.
And that's kind of what the first game was. But the second game took some writing directions that people don't care for, and the show is following those directions versus the first game's directions. Okay. I do like Joel and Ellie's dynamic, of course, because that's what the show's going to be based around. However, I don't feel that Bella Ramsey has charisma like that. She's supposed to come off as a lovable little shit, but to me, she's coming off as a little shit.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, to be honest.
Okay.
And it's just like, you know, I like the action scenes. Finally, we actually, you know, had humans versus humans fighting. But again, I've been telling you guys, like, I can see the fucking what they're going for episode by episode. Like, the episode before, I'd be like, okay, they're going to do this next episode. They're setting up for this. They're setting up for that. And setting up for this, you know? And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just very obvious how they want to do their story. And the further it goes on, the more and more it's straying away from the actual game. At this point, the only thing they're keeping from the games is they're roughly some scenes and locations are the same. Like, the big one that they kept from the game was the fight in that laundromat. That's a very specific fight that actually like everyone loves and they had to have in there. Like if you cut that, I would have been pissed. Because that's like the first like big fight with Raiders and stuff. Okay. But it's still good, but I'm noticing a trend and I'm not liking where it's going, especially because I read today that they have confirmed the second season will cover the second game.
Oh, okay.
So that means that they are using a lot of fucking time for not Joel and Ellie, and I'm telling you, everyone's liking the show now. When it hits the end of the season, people are going to be like, I'm not invested.
Ah, shit.
You did not set me up for the payoff of the end of the season. And I just know it will happen, and I'm not going to be fucking surprised when it does, because, again, this motherfucker lost his ability to write from the first to second game. And I will say that now, especially seeing his writing style. I don't know if it's... It feels like him. Like, it doesn't feel like HBO. It feels like I could tell it's his fucking style, because I read it fucking... I watched the stupid ass BTS thing they do at the end of episodes, which you guys do not watch, but I do. And he says, my favorite thing to do is to humanize villains. You know what my least favorite thing to do in TV shows is? Humanizing villains. I'd rather you demonize heroes. You know what I mean? I'd rather see a hero have a good and a bad side to him versus you making the bad guy have a good side to him.
Yeah.
Because at this point, everything in media humanizes the villains. I'm tired of human villains. I just want to see a good bad guy who's an asshole. Come on.
I think it's hard to humanize a villain. I don't think it's hard to humanize an anti-hero. If they have a different agenda, like I'm going to go off on a little spiel here, but like Tsukasa and Dr. Stone, for example, he wasn't really a villain. He's more of an anti-hero, and I feel like that's easier to humanize somebody and not mess up the story when they have, you know, just a different view and they're not actively like ruining the plot, you know? So for this, humanizing somebody who's, you know, just a straight up hindrance to the main cast is just going to be a little bit tough for me to want to get invested in.
Fair. Since we got through the opening thoughts, we got to do our thing that we created that I made and I forgot about in like a week's time. 1 sentence reviews for social media and also people who don't want spoilers.
I got 3 words, bro.
I'll go first, which is, the more and more this goes on, the less excited I get. Eli, let me hear your 3 words, man.
Pretty close to mine. I was going to go with Raggy.
Oh my goodness. Tristan?
1 sentence review. I'm scared for what they're gonna continue to do.
Is that because of what I said, or is that because of what you feel?
Mostly because of what I feel, but also just knowing that you know the game and that you've mentioned that they confirmed the second season will be the second game. Like, I don't think that it's gonna result. I don't think it's gonna result in great storytelling down the stretch, or just great scenes, or me caring about the characters as much. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah. The first thing that gave me a red flag with the episode was the scene in the truck. That scene in the game where they're talking about the music and the magazine with having, you know, possible nut in it and stuff like that. That's a really, like, funny, endearing scene in the game, but to me, it fell flat in the show. How'd you guys feel about that?
I thought it was funny. I thought it was cool, to be honest.
I honestly, I thought it was entertaining, that one.
Yeah, maybe it's just my having seen a different take on it and just comparing the two. So it's giving me a jaded sense of view. But it's very possible. I admit that my bias is there and it's not be able to take it away. Like, you know?
I mean,
like,
I don't blame
I
you.
played this game 10 years ago. I was 12 or 13. You know? Like, so it's a different time impressionability-wise where you're more receptive to media younger than you are when you're older, especially doing this show when we watch so much media that you have to really be good to affect me, you know? And then we just lead into basically them getting ambushed by some raiders when the scene, like I said, 1 for 1 from the game, you know, dude's out there, he's like, hey man, help. And she's like, aren't you to help him? He's like, fuck no. He's like, I don't know what he's doing, bro. I used to do that shit back in the day. Tries to run us over. They had spike strips, bro. Real fucking
police
wild style. Whoop whoop! That's just on those spike strips, and they just blew their shit up, and they started fighting in that laundromat, real gangster style, real slugger fight. And he almost got the dub. Well, he almost got the dub, and then he was losing. He almost choked the dub. And then Ellie came in and got the dub, and then Ellie was all freaked out because she killed someone, and he was like, "Grow up, Buttercup," and because he was still being a hard ass. But then he started being nicer later. And this is the part that I don't like about this episode. So they cut away after this to what's her name? Kathleen?
Sure.
Okay. I will call her Canadian soccer mom.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is the least intimidating human being you could have ever hired for this role.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I don't buy for 1 second that she's supposed to be the leader of a fucking raider clan. Like,
absolutely not.
She's not convincing acting-wise. She doesn't have the look for it. She's not menacing. All she looks like she's about to fucking cry every time she has a scene. It was not good. I don't know why they chose her at all, but it's not great. The only thing I can see is they're trying to do like, look guys, this normal person who was a soccer mom has turned into a hardcore killer and leads a group against Fedra. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, whatever. I just don't give a shit. Like the scene where she walked away from the doctor and came back and shot him after she found little Brian beat to death. That shit was fucking weak.
You know, they try to do this a lot. Like the whole, anybody could be a villain after, being in a shitty situation like that. The Walking Dead did it with like the Negans.
That's exactly what I got from this.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, I didn't mind the villain of Negan. Okay, I'm gonna get a lot of hate, I'm sure, from the Last of Us fans, but that actually liked this, I guess. But I feel like she is just one of those characters that, like, you're not, like you said, you're not even convinced a little bit. You're like, okay, you're still a normal person. Like, you're still making normal person decisions, and you do look like you're going to cry every 2 seconds. Like, I don't know. Like, I also don't know why they chose her for this role, and I have to assume it's like, oh, I need a normal-looking lady to play this role because, like, we have to convince the audience that, that's what it is. So I don't know. I didn't like it, but
yeah, it just, did you like it, Tristan? Did you like her as a character in that whole B plot?
No, I thought she was terrible. I share the same thoughts in that she did not seem intimidating. She did not seem like the kind of lady who should be in that sort of role. There was nothing that she did in the 5-10 minutes she was on screen that convinced me that she was the kind of person that they were trying to make her seem like. And I also don't care. Like, I know that they're gonna go into Joel and Ellie or having to deal with them in the next episode, and I just don't want to see it. I really don't.
So she's an original character, by the way, to the show. Kind of easy to tell, but
really,
yeah, I know. In the BTS, they were like, in the game, these people are just enemy raiders that you kill, and they're not really characterized. That's why in the show I wanted to characterize them and let you get into insight to them. I was like, bro, I really don't need insight into these people. Like, if we had insight into every villain of The Walking Dead, it's past season 5. That's what it is.
Absolutely. It's yep.
Which is what? Cheeks. Like, it's cheeks after that. So I just don't need that kind of stuff. Like, I really don't. You can just tell me they're raiders and that's it. Like, imagine if we got every single person in the Fire Nation characterized in Avatar.
Oh,
it would have been a week,
dude. Yeah.
Like, I don't need to know why these soldiers are fighting. You can save that for later when you have more time. But this show doesn't have time, as we know, because Eli told me it's only 9 episodes. So I don't fucking care. Like,
but bro,
fuck Kathleen.
You have that guy and his son now.
Oh, you're talking about the very, very end?
Very, very end. Well, I mean, there's nothing really between Kathleen and the very, very end.
Well, I wanted just, a little bit of characterization between Ellie and Joel.
To me, that kind of seems like an older brother, younger brother kind of thing, but I have no idea. Do
you want me to tell you?
Sure.
Tristan's right. It's older brother, younger brother.
Oh, fair enough. He looked
Smart
old
for once.
But I mean, the stuff with them being nice to each other was good at some points, and then I felt like it went overboard at a point where they kept laughing at the joke, and I was like, all right, chill out. Like, if she had done the
Yeah.
last joke and then, like, Joel like laughed a little bit and then, like, turned and smiled and went to sleep, solid. Make it a little bit more subtle, you know? You don't have to beat me over the head with it, you know, they're bonding. Instead, he was like, and Ellie was like, I was like, oh, brother, stop it. I know I was watching an anime right now.
I won't lie. The diarrhea joke got me. I'm not gonna lie.
It runs in your genes.
You haven't heard that one?
I haven't.
I probably have
alright.
long time ago, but no, I didn't remember that one. That's a good one though.
But dude, I just really didn't care for the dad jokes, especially because that's not the way they bonded in the game. So, but they have to do that because in the game they bonded over the course of fights. Because prior to this fight, they've already been in like 4 or 5.
Oh,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
In the game, so that's where they're bonding with. They're like bonding through combat, like Army brothers do. You know, but they're not doing that in this show, so they have to bond in a different way, which is through slowly opening up to each other. Where, you know, she explains her backstory, he explains his. Were you a good person? Were you killing innocent people? Yes. You know, how do you know he was like that? Because I was on both sides of it. I've been jumped and I've been jumping. You know, Joel was really a jumper, bro. That's what a bitch. Joel was saying, fight back, fight back.
Holy shit.
But what was the point of the glass if the glass didn't work?
The what?
The glass
Oh, yeah.
The glass
that's-
shards?
Yeah.
that he dumped around there sleeping, and then they got grabbed up anyways.
Yeah, I got no idea.
Unless, and this is the only thing I think, that Ellie got up while they were asleep and tried to do some shit and got grabbed. That's the only thing that they could
maybe.
argue in like the next episode. And she's like, "Why'd you move? I told you not to." He's like, "Because I wanted to find some donuts."
I had
don't
to
know.
pee.
That's episode. We're going on episode 5. That means like we got 6 more. No,
We're almost halfway
5
through.
more.
5 more. Jesus, I don't know. I'm not excited at this point.
I'm going back and forth.
Like, episode 1 was so good and it stuck so close to the games, and
I
they're just
know.
like, it really feels like they were just baiting us. Like, it was a bait and switch. Like, I don't
Of course.
like it. That's why that's why I think I'm hating it even more, is because they play with me. You know what I mean? Like, you fucked with me. You're like, "Oh, we got him. Hook him, kill him." I don't fucking care. I'll still review the show. It's not a bad TV show, but at this point, it's starting to be a bad adaptation.
I see.
How about that? You like that? You like
I'm
that?
not
okay
bad.
with that. That sounds legitimate.
I'm gonna get stabbed at this point. People are not gonna like my takes.
Dude, we're still living after our House of Dragons review. I think we're all right.
And
We were
Rings
close
of
to
Power.
Yeah, that's pretty
No one
true.
cared about Rings. We
Nobody
got
did.
no
Nobody
hate for Rings of Power.
Yeah, nobody liked
House
that.
of Dragon, we caught some flack.
That's true.
Yeah, that's pretty true.
Somehow we caught flack for Cyberpunk. Oh no, we're gonna get fucked up over Last of Us as well. But you know, Mitch, it ain't gonna be the last of me. It's gonna be the last of you. Trump tried me. I dare you.